This is like the second video I've made about my video game in a row, which is kind of surprising to me. Very much, I very much suck at doing updates on my game, but I kind of wanted to go in depth on what my video game is and what it's supposed to be and how I think the reception will be to the game itself. And to put it bluntly, I started out making it a horror game, like strictly horror. And I had all of this stuff planned, and it never came to fruition because I couldn't do half of the stuff I wanted to do. And I'm just a single person working on this game, and I will be the only person working on this game for a really, really long time. I do hope that at some point I can bring people in to help me make changes and modifications to it. But for right now, I want to talk about what it is that I have done, what I'm doing, and where it's going to go into the future. But to go in depth, it started as a horror game and then sort of modified into like a dark fantasy horror RPG put together. And the game is based off of a short story that I wrote, and it's to explore the concept that I laid out in that short story. And it's kind of like this um cosmic horror idea of a creature that takes on the form of inanimate objects like homes and sort of like goes across space and time. And I just wanted to explore the idea and see where it went. And I ended up with this video game that takes you across several different periods of time as you explore the home itself, looking for this little girl, and you see humans and other creatures that have all been sucked into like this pocket dimension that you are in. And the whole idea is you can't escape the pocket dimension without defeating the creature that created it. And the longer you're in the pocket dimension, it consumes your life the longer you're in there. So it doesn't kill you, but it shortens your lifespan over time and consumes whatever years you had. And I don't know fully how to explore it well, but I think that it makes for a fun, artistic video game project that people can enjoy playing with, like this vague story that's being told through notes and NPCs, Dark Souls style. And I started it. I'm over halfway done with it, and I'm going to finish it. And the game is going to be separated into three acts, and the three acts take place on different floors of the home. And each floor is a different size with different creatures in them. Like, creatures don't cross from floor to floor. And I don't know how to explain why that is the way it is outside of the fact that they got sucked in and merged in with that part of the floor. So that's just where they stay because that's where their home is at. And it's going to have normal RPG stuff, but I'm going to try to update it and do different things with it over time and hopefully get it close to where I want it to be at by the time I get it on Steam, which is my goal for the end of the year is to finish the game and have it out on Steam in no particular order. If it comes out on Steam before that, I'll release a demo. I'll set a release window and I'll hammer it home until it finally comes out. And it's got a mixture of assets that were already in RPG Maker and some that I made. My whole thing about doing this project was that I wanted to push myself with art and animation, but I've not really had the time to put a lot of that into the game quite yet. And I think what will happen is when it comes out, it'll be a pretty bare bones game. And I will probably hire somebody to do a lot of the animation that I want done, which will specifically come in with a feature where the player looks through a keyhole to see what is inside of a room before entering the room itself. And right now it's got descriptions as placeholders. And my hopes is I can hire somebody to come through, look at the look at the descriptions and design either a picture or an animation to go in place of that, and I can learn how to put these animations into the game because something I'm going to have to learn how to do is I'm going to have to learn how to do credits at the end of the game also. So a lot of this is going to be a bear with me while I learn how to do this stuff because this has been a massive, massive learning curve. And that's with that's with a software that's very handholdy, which I've been trying to learn how to code on the side so I can start making games in like Unity or Godot after this project's done. And I do have one other project I'm going to be doing in RPG Maker, but that's going to be a totally different video way down the line after I've actually started working on that thing. And I'm also implementing um, a lot of stuff to see how it goes and working on features that I've already got in the game. But my whole thing is I want to get the game finished before I do a whole lot of stuff. And this is just to keep stuff separated on my plate, so to speak. Like right now is just building, and then after building's gonna come fleshing out, and then after fleshing out, I'm gonna mess with either adding more features or taking features out, cause there's stuff I want to do like I want to put stat points into the game. I want to put randomized dungeons into the game, and I've found stuff where people's made programs and all you do is you download it, you slap the files into your game and then you figure out how to implement it from there. I think that the randomized dungeons will probably be the best one because I mean this game's going to have DLC. I've planned out DLC for it already. And I think my favorite thing I implemented was permadeath, and I'm trying to figure out how to keep it from autosaving during the permadeath runs. But I think there's a software limitation with that where you can't really do something like that. And the reason I want to is I wanted to make a DLC where you had this option to go into a dungeon and you run the dungeon, and anytime you die, you restart the dungeon. But you make it to certain checkpoints where you have the option to leave the dungeon itself, which is where the randomized cave system stuff comes into play. And I think that would be a fun DLC and could add to the story in a way because it would match the story of the game and the structure of the game too. But I'm going to make a video about that when that time comes. And right now, I'm toying with the idea that allows branching narratives where your decisions and your actions impact stuff. But that will come later, probably. I've got one thing in the game where, yeah, it does do that in a way. And I'm playing with a quest journal, and I'm sort of disappointed in how it works, but it works. That's what matters. And I'll talk more later.